Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. Always be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit that notification bell. So every time I drop a video, you will be notified. So we're gonna do a story about banning cell phones in schools. This is from the New York Times. This is a lengthy article, so I will post it in the description box so you can read it yourself. Because you know me, I've always promoted that you read. But I will go through some of the highlights. We'll just scroll through this together, right? This says this Florida school district bans cell phones. Here's what happened. Schools in Orlando took a tougher approach than a new state law required. Students' engagement increased, so did the hunt for contraband phones. Well, kids need to stop being so doggone hard-headed. But let's go through this. It said one afternoon last month, hundreds of students at Timber Creek High School in Orlando poured into the campus's sprawling central courtyard to hang out and eat lunch. I remember those days. I remember growing up pre-cell phone and get to school. First thing you do, like I say, go to the courtyard, we hang out. Hang out on swings, monkey bars, play basketball, play football, whatever the case may be. You know, elementary, junior high. High school, we had a student center. We all sat in the student center, we talked, hung out until the bell rang. Sat on the stairs, talk to your homeboys, try to holler at females, walking in the hallway with your girl, whatever. Fun times, no cell phones, no problems. I think we had pay phones by the stairs. I don't know if they're still there now. Probably not. And if we need to make a phone call, we can go to the office and call our parents. You know, I think we turned out okay. But things have changed over 30 years. It said one afternoon last month, 100 students, for members of an extremely online generation, their activities were decidedly analog. Nothing wrong with that. Dozens sat in small groups, animatedly talking with one another. Others played pickleball on makeshift lunchtime courts. It's amazing the things you do with little resources. Amazing how your mind works to where you can actually be creative, create new things. Who knows? You might create a brand new movie and not a part 3, 4, 5, 6 or a reboot of an old story. We may just have kids who may become up, but then we got AI who's going to take all that away. But anyway, there was not a cell phone in sight, and that was no accident. In May, Florida passed a law requiring public school districts to impose rules barring student cell phone use during class time. This fall, Orange County Public Schools, which included Timber Creek High, went even further, barring students from using cell phones during the entire school day. I think that's wonderful. I noticed, and it's very disturbing, when you see children, or adults too, hell, let's just be honest, stuck in that phone. I have to find ways to disengage from the phone. Now, most of the times I'm in the phone, I'm either looking at stories or trying to, promote my business, or looking, I usually use my phone for educational or work purposes. Not a whole lot of entertainment. Entertainment is mainly delegated to maybe nighttime before I go to bed, or if I take a break or taking a break from something. But other than that, if I'm on my phone, most of the time it's business related. As they interviews, a dozen Orange County parents and students all said they support the no phone rule during class, but they objected to the district's stricter day-long ban. Parents said their children should be able to contact them directly during free periods, while students described the day-long ban as unfair and infantilizing. Good Lord, Marlon. Infantilizing. Forget it. Treat them like babies. They expect us to take responsibility for our own choices, said Sophia Ferrara, a 12th grader at Timber Creek who needs to use mobile devices during free periods to take online college classes. But then they are taking away the ability for us to make a choice and to learn responsibility. Now, in her case, I understand. If you're taking online class, but okay, here's my thing. If it has nothing to do with the high school, and if it's not promoted through the high school, then you don't need your cell phone to take online classes. Get a laptop. It should be a designated area and a designated device for her to use for her college classes, or she just gonna have to do it after school. I mean, that's just, that's just the way it has to be. Like many exacerbated parents, man, I can say that word, but I couldn't say the other word anyway. Like many exacerbated parents, public schools across the United States are adopting increasingly drastic measures to try to pry young people away from their cell phones. Tougher constraints are needed, lawmakers and district leaders argue, because rampant social media use during school is threatening students' education, well-being, and physical safety. Yes, I have seen firsthand kids with grades plummet, no engagement with school, in school, not doing schoolwork, keep putting it off. Oh, I'm gonna do it later, and then they're on the phone. It interferes with housework, house chores, or at least they try to make it interfere with house, but it does, because kids know what they need to do, and then they put it off and say, I'll do it in a minute, and the next thing you know, you get to scrolling, man, 10 minutes become hours. And so, but that's where parenting comes in, to where you have to say, hey, you get home, do this housework, put your phone down, get this done, period. Nope, no questions, no buts. You do your housework, you go back into your room, do whatever the hell you want to. Now you come out and your grades are crappy, then the phone gonna become mine anyway. That's all. I mean, that's how you do that. It goes by the housework first, like the old school rules: housework, then the school, and then the schoolwork, and then your phone or your entertainment. That's how it was back in the day, and that's how it should be now. Hell, I've seen parents who got kids in high school who, once their kids get home, they take their phone in high school because it's a distraction. I mean, dang it, you can sit there and say, well, they're getting old enough, they should know. Yeah, they should, woulda, coulda, but they're not. So it's saying in some schools, young people have planned and film assaults on fellow students and then upload the videos to platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Teachers and principals warn that social apps like Snapchat have also been a major distraction, prompting some pupils to keep messaging their friends during class. And that's the thing. Like I said, they got these phones. I know my dad said he was a substitute teacher, a few years back. And he said that was a problem. Kids had the phones out. I said, hey, you got your phones, put the phones up. Either put the phones up or go to the office. You're not supposed to have the phone, put them up. It's just like, that's just what it is. So you have to do something. You have to take a step. Whenever people are breaking rules, trying to circumvent the rules, or trying to bend them, you have to, and I said this before, take it to a level that they don't think you would take it to where you will become the bad guy, because they're going to test you. They're going to test you, and then once you check them on it, they're going to try to explain as to why it's unfair, but you have to remember they brought it upon themselves. They say as a result, many individual districts, among them South Portland, Maine, and Charlottesville City, Virginia, have banned student cell phones used throughout the day. Now Florida has instituted a more comprehensive statewide crackdown. All right. It said a new law requires public schools to prohibit student cell phone use during instructional time and block students' access to social media on district Wi-Fi. It also requires schools to teach students about how social media manipulates behavior, which it does. Like the paragraph before, kids are scheduling fights and beating each other up and posting it on social media. That's some illegal stuff. That can get them in a lot of trouble, and they don't understand it. Again, kids are stupid. Okay? And I always preface this by saying I was once a kid too, myself. But kids are dumb. They're ignorant. They just think they know everything, but don't know nothing. Don't understand when they're being manipulated, or hell, even manipulating themselves, don't even realize it. So adults, it's our responsibilities to keep kids in check until they become adults and they can check themselves. Talk about DeSantis. I don't want to talk about him. It said this is one step to help protect our youth and our kids from the grips of social media, said State Representative Brad Yeager, a Republican who sponsored the bill. Is also going to create a less distracted classroom and a better learning environment. And that's where it starts. You got to have an environment. Now, whether the school is actually teaching kids anything, tangible, or they just teaching kids for the test, that's another subject, another story. We don't go by that. What we're trying to do now is keeping kids focused on what needs to be taught. If something that needs to be taught is said, you don't want them to miss it because they're texting and scrolling. It says stuff like Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok have policies barring bullying. Everybody gave a statement saying that if they see bullying, they'll get rid of it. A new cell phone. A new cell phone policy this year at Hillsborough County Public Schools in Tampa, for instance, warn students: we see it, we take it. More restrictive school cell phone rules could have benefits such as boosting students' focus on learning, but they could also increase surveillance of students or hinder crucial communication for teenagers with family responsibilities or after-school jobs. Again, when I was growing up, I had a job. I had a younger sister. I had a car. Didn't have a cell phone. If I needed to get in contact with someone, with a parent, well, usually the job I ain't gotta get in contact with, because damn it, I knew my schedule for the week, so I know what time I had to be there. Now, if I couldn't make it, then I could go to the office and say, hey, I need to call my job, or go home and say, hey, I need to call my job, say I ain't gonna make it, or I'm gonna be late. Simple as that. If I needed something, I remember in high school, I chipped my tooth, right? Went to the office, used the phone. And some classrooms had phones, depending on what cluster you had. You go to the classroom or go to the office, call my mom and say, hey, mom, I just broke my tooth and it hurt. I need to go to a dentist. She said, okay. So got a dentist appointment. She called back up to the office, tell my son to meet me out front. He has a dentist appointment at 3:30 or 4 o'clock or whatever. Somebody come running to the class, relay the message. I get out to the front. Ain't thinking, damn, if I would have had a phone in my hand, I would have to go through all that. I would have to sit here and worry about this. It's just life, man. I mean, there's nothing different in schools now happened back then, except maybe one bad thing. But let me see what I want to get to. Talking about the school system, say they saw a lot of bullying. Yeah, that's one thing people use these phones for, is a lot of bullying. They say they're recording things that go on during school time. And let's see, Ms. Rodriguez Davis, I guess she's a teacher, say it was getting out of hand. Ms. Rodriguez Davis describing how students text each other during class to arrange meetings in the bathroom where they film dance videos. I call them toilet TikToks. To show what teachers are up against, Ms. Rodriguez Davis posted her own TikTok parodying her struggles with students and their phones. And like I said, I'm gonna post this link down so you can watch it yourself. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's funny because it's true how these parents get mad because you took the kid's cell phone. And like in one skit, she said, well, hey, you can come up here and get the phone yourself. No, we ain't gotta meet face to face. Just take the phone, and then when your kids get out of school, you can give it back to them. Let's say in September, on the first day of the ban took effect, Timber Creek administrators confiscated more than 100 phones from students. Mr. Wasco said after that, the confiscations quickly dropped. Phone-related school incidents like bullying have decreased, he said. And I mean, if we're talking about the safety of children, is always first and foremost the most important thing. Wouldn't you be in favor of this? I know I would. They said the ban has made the atmosphere at Timber Creek more pastoral and more carceral, which means more prison-like. Whatever. Mr. Wasco says students now make eye contact and respond when he greets them. Teachers said students seem more engaged in the class. One teacher said, oh, I love it. I bet you this is a black woman. It sounds like something my mama said, like, oh, I love it. Says Nikita McCaskill, a government teacher at Timber Creek, students are more talkative and more collaborative. Oh, yep, she's a black. It's sure that yep, I was right. Some students say that the ban has made interaction with their classmates more authentic. Now people can't really be like, oh, look at me on Instagram. You got to talk to people. And that's a problem. There's a lot of kids who don't know how to talk to folk. I hate talking to kids and they can't even communicate or express what they really mean. because they don't talk to each other. If it ain't on Instagram, ain't a picture or a video, they don't know how to communicate with each other, which I'd be wanting to know, like, what these interviews be looking like, these jobs sometimes. Because if I was a supervisor and interviewing some people, these youngsters, man, I think I'd be frustrated to the point where I wouldn't want to hire none of these kids, because they can't talk to people, especially in fast food or grocery stores or something like that. You got to talk to folk. Or Starbucks, you got to talk to people. And if you don't got the gift of gab, what the heck? Let's see. She also found the band. Oh, Miss Stanley added that she also found the band problematic, saying she would feel safer at school if she could carry her cell phone. Who is this? Peyton Stanley. Now people can't really be like, oh, look at me on Instagram, this is who I am, says Peyton Stanley, a 12th grader at Timber Creek. Miss Stanley added that she also finds the band problematic, saying she would feel safer at school if she could carry her cell phone in her pocket and be able to text her mom immediately if needed. When I was in high school, there is no reason in hell why I want to text my parents, call or talk to my parents during the day. No reason. No, just now. She said in case of emergency. Understood. But here's my thing. And like I said, here's the one thing that could hurt this cell phone ban, and it's these mass shootings that be in the school. Because a lot of these kids saying that if one of these comes up, I need to be able to call my mom. Well, no, you should not call your parents if it happens. First thing you should be, if you have your phone, person you should be calling is 911. And here's one thing is not being said in this article that I saw in a different article about these bans. They don't take the phones unless you have them out. Matter of fact, the rule is you can't have the phone in your hand and you can't have it in your pocket, but you can have it in your backpack. Which means, kids, if you are really, see, there's a compromise here. That's the thing. It's not that they don't have the phones, it's that they cannot have them in their hands at all times. It's the addictive personality. That's what the problem is. So, compromise was made, saying that you can keep it in your backpack. So, kids, if you take your backpacks with you, purses or your satchels or whatever you call them, with you from class to class, then you can have your cell phone on you at all times. So if something does arise, you are able to pull it out and make a phone call. Again, I would not suggest the first person you call be a family member, or the first thing you do is to record. Now, you can call 911 and record a video at the same time, but I would say the first thing you would do is, and I'm just speaking as a nurse, when we have codes in our clinics or at the hospital, we do teachings, simulations. First thing we do is, make sure everybody's safe, make sure the patient is safe, and we call for help. That's the first thing. If you're by yourself and someone falls out, someone needs medical attention, you run just to make sure that they're okay. If you're by yourself, you start, you go call for help, and then you start with the CPR or the life-saving measures. You don't call your mama. You don't start recording no videos. But again, my point is, you can keep your phones in your backpack. But you just can't use it. So if you need to call your mom for an emergency, go to the office. Everybody don't need to call their mom for an emergency. Like I said, I don't know no kids who want to sit here and talk to their mama just for the hell of it. Say Mr. Lake said he also monitors school security camera feeds for students using cell phones in hallways and other spaces. Students who are caught may be taken out of class. Repeat violators can be suspended. Whether the potential benefit of banning cell phones outweigh the cost of curbing students' limited freedom is not yet known. What is clear is that such bans are upending the academic and social norms of a generation reared on cell phones. And yeah, that's what the problem is. These kids just grew up on these devices. Shoot, got this youngin' that I know that her mama like send her to bed, but you gotta watch it because she'll have a cell phone and or a laptop under the covers at night. And you gotta take it from her. You can't put in her backpack thinking that she's not gonna grab it, she's gonna go get it. But that's just again a parenting issue where you have to do your job to actually do some parenting work. It say Orange County students described the ban as regressive, noting they could no longer use their phones to check their class schedules during school, take photos of their projects in art class, find their friends at lunch, or even add the phone numbers of new classmates to their contact list. Man, write that down. Okay, now phone numbers, I'm sorry, I can't give you that one. Because what we did back in the day, pen and paper, pencil and paper, write a number down, put it in your pocket, put it in your Rolodex, or put it in your phone later. Come on, you can't have that. They got to take photos of projects in the art class. Let the teacher have a phone. Let the teacher have a phone, let them take a picture, and then send it to the student's cell phone. Simple as that. Checking class schedules during school. Well, hey, that's something that the administration got to deal with. You got to check the schedules. They can go to the office and check it, and they're going to have to deal with all of them kids. You know what I'm saying? But these are things that can be... No, these are easy fixes, They say, imagine that the device you use on a daily basis to communicate with other people is completely gone, says Catalina, age 13. It is fun to listen to teenagers because, boy, they'll sit there and try to explain everything, and we look at it and we just laugh. In 8th grade at a local middle school, she and her mother asked that her last name not be used for privacy reasons and probably getting bullied for saying something this ignorant. It feels completely isolated, she said. And you look at the it was a comment I saw earlier. I wonder if it's still there. Some news about Florida. Let's see. It talks about a lot of it's like people my age or older saying we did just fine with our cell phones. It's okay. To make like one made fun of, imagine the device you use on a daily basis to communicate with other people is completely gone. That's fun. You know what I'm saying? They made fun of that, so that's why they wanted to leave the girl's last name out. It say somebody wrote, I've met many educated young people out of college or out of high school. Many seem to lack the verbal skills that my generation of talkers possess at these ages. Yeah, exactly. And see, this is why. Third thing, like I said, you worried about mass shooting, but if the cell phones are creating situations of bullying, wouldn't you want to get rid of the catalysts that cause bullying, which could cause kids to go up to schools and open fire? I'm just saying, not saying it's the 100% reason, because there's no 100% fail-safe proof anything man-made, nothing. But wouldn't you want to increase the chances or decrease the chances of something bad happening due to bullying? Because once it go online, the whole world sees it. And everybody at school sees it, everybody in the neighborhood sees it, everybody in the city sees it, and there's no way you can escape it. So what you gonna do? You either gonna try to delete other kids, or you may try self-deletion. So my thing is, again, the safety of the children is rule number one. And if that's the case, the cell phones gotta go. Or like the use of cell phones gotta go. But like I said, in this article, what is not said is you can have a cell phone in your backpack, because they said they confiscated them. They confiscated them because they were using them, not because they had them in their backpack. Put them in your backpack, put something on silent. Here, we got to put our phones on silent and put them up where I work at. I'm grown, and I got people dependent on me. You know what I'm saying? So if I can do it, and I make money and I pay your cell phone bills, why the heck you can't put it up? That's all I want. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. Hopefully this law makes its rounds across the whole entire United States, because these kids, man, we set them up for failure with these phones and they can't put them down. And then when they get out to this real world, I could just imagine. That's why I'm saying, man, once I get of age in a financial, in a place financially that I want to be, move to the country. Let these kids have this stuff done with it. But anyway, like I said, leave your comments below, share it with the world. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Like. And with that being said, I leave you in peace. And I'll see you on the other side.